I probably would have gone, and I probably would have done the best I could. I'm not saying I would enjoy being shot at.
Yeah.
It's not my idea of a good afternoon, you know.
Yeah. How would you describe the ways that the war has changed not only your life but the lives around you?
Oh, that's an interesting question. One of the things that I learned, now I was in college during the time of President Eisenhower. Now you can figure out whole that. President Eisenhower, and he always warned that never go into an Asian land war. Never go to war on the Asian continent because you can't win. They don't play by the rules. You know, the Napoleonic way of one army facing another army and shoot each other doesn't work in Vietnam. That was guerrilla warfare, which some countries used during World War II, primarily the Soviet Union and some of the others. So I was kind of impressed by Eisenhower saying never get involved in a land war in Asia. So as far, I'm not sure I remember your question.
It was how did the war affect your
How did it affect me? Well, I'll tell you, it indicated that the wisdom of President Eisenhower, that we never should have gotten into that land war. We were trying to fight it as a conventional war with tanks and artillery and infantry, and the Vietnamese didn't want to fight a war that way. They wanted to fight a war sneaky. And they dug tunnels all under where they could go from one place to another and nobody could find them. And that was classic guerrilla warfare. And it's not too different from the American Civil War. How did the South fight versus how did the North fight? The South was protecting its front porch. And the North was invading their country where they had their front porches. So that's why, even though the Confederate Army was much smaller, they were a lot better fighters than the North was. But the North didn't want to be there either. And the South didn't want the North to be there either. So they agreed on that. So from that standpoint, war, that's the last war. I mean, we went to Iraq and Afghanistan, but that was an entirely different setup. Of course, they were fighting the same thing. There was not a uniform army that's waiting for you to attack and to defend from. So it changed the idea of warfare. It almost made warfare obsolete. People haven't learned that yet.
I know.
Not that I'm anti-war or anything like that, it's just that, is it worth it?
Yeah.
I have a son.